All right, since some of you guys could not attend the virtual Google Meet, I would like to show you how you guys should be doing your planning for your sculptures since it is due tomorrow, and I've had a lot of questions. So this worksheet is provided to you in um, the Google Classroom. It's listed as Graffiti Worksheet and Planner. You should be able to print it off, and if you cannot print it off, well, then you need a 4-inch box by an 8-inch box. So hopefully you have a ruler at home and you could draw. When you're doing a graffiti plan, you would like for your plan to fill up the whole box. Now, not many of you have probably drawn graffiti before, so in the first box, go ahead and think of the word you want to write. Remember, the word that you want to write needs to have 5 characters in it. And again, they can be numbers or letters or symbols. The letters should overlap. So you want to remember that the letters need to overlap. And also you want to fill the entire box. All right, so fill the entire box. So for example, in my first box here, it can be very sketchy. So I'm going to use my last name because it's Young, and that is 5 letters. So there's a Y, there's an O, there is a U, there is an N, and there is a G. And so you can see by just me writing in regular print letters the word Young, I have pretty much filled up the entire box. My letters are all touching each other, and they aren't overlapping quite yet. But the first box can be very sketchy. All right, second box. You can look up stuff on the internet. You can actually use your Chromebooks to trace. Remember, this is not a drawing class. So if you want to find letters on the internet and trace, that is fine. But we now want to pick a style of graffiti, and we want to go with that style. So as you start to write, I'm going to just use a regular block style for this first one. Try to make sure your letters are really, really, really thick. All right, so here's my first letter again, thick, meaning like it is bigger than your finger, so you can see how thick that one is. And back to, they need to overlap here a little bit, so your sculpture will really only be successful if you can overlap your letters. And again, I'm trying to fill up the whole box. So there's a U. All right, there's an N. Again, see how thick those letters are. And yes, it is okay if you go outside the box a little bit. I gave you guys some extra clay, so you can go outside the box a little bit. So your second attempt at lettering should be a little thicker than your first attempt. And you should really try to get that graffiti style going with your thick letters going all the way across. All right, now you're going to need to do 3 sketches and 1 final. So here again is my third attempt. Now this one, I'm going to try to get a little bit crazy. I'm going to start trying to do like a wild style. This is something I saw on the internet that I liked. All right, so I'm going to try to get my Y doing some interesting things here, and I'm going to get some little arrows going here with my Y, maybe a couple little fancy little holes and nuggets in that. I'm going to try to do something cool with my O. Again, this is a style that I saw on the internet that I liked, so I looked it up and I have these little arrows in it. All right, so there's those one with little arrows in there. I'm going to go with my U that has a little arrow in the U up in here. Oh, and you can see here, I already made a mistake. Like that letter, I think is a little too skinny. So I'm going to try to make that a little thicker with my U. All right. My N can come up here. And again, you can think of coming outside the box a little bit. That is fine when you do this. All right. And then again with my arrows. And then my G. With some arrows into my G. All right. So that one now has a little bit more style. If there's something that you want to put into your drawing, that is also fine. So say you're trying to make like an O, and you want to make the O look like a basketball or something like that. That's okay too if you can't draw. If you can't draw a basketball, you can lay out your plans and actually write words in there. Like if you're trying to draw something, and I can't tell what it is, you can write that it's a basketball. If you're really struggling to make something, for example, say you're really bad, again, this is not a drawing class, but you want to make something that looks like a golf club, write those things in there. You can use writing to be able to tell me what it is in your drawings. But for Friday, you should try to have a drawing done that fills up a whole box. You want to have 3 sketches and then 1 good final drawing that you are going to make a sculpture out of. So one more time, 3 sketches that could be kind of anything, and then 1 final drawing that is due.